Bushfires and Prince Andrew, two hot topics in the media at the moment. Peter Wilkinson, our Prime Minister says we shouldn't be talking about climate change when people are dying. Is Scott Morrison right or wrong?
I think a lot of people think that he's wrong. The time to be talking about climate change is when there's a strong motivation for people. Is that if there's an accident at a crossing outside a school, everyone will instantly say, as soon as the accident occurs, particularly if there's been a bit of a campaign running, we told you there should have been a zebra crossing, or we told you there should have been lights, that the lollipop people weren't enough, and this kind of stuff. So it's exactly the time. And the important thing that when people are running a change management program, and this happens in corporations all the time, and it certainly happens in politics all the time, the first thing you need is a motivation for change. And the strongest motivation is change. Is if we don't change, we've had it. We'll be ruined, right? And then you need to say, this is where we need to go, and this is how we're going to get there. And that's, and it can be, Albanese talks about seeing an opportunity in renewables or seeing an opportunity in climate change. Those are the kinds of things that we can talk about.
And surely as a Prime Minister, as a leader of this country, you need to tackle the big issues head on. You can't dodge them. You can't just put the stop sign up and say, we're not going to talk about it.
Well, I think the same goes, it's not just the Prime Minister, it's Albanese as well, the leader of the opposition. Then you've got the craziness of Michael McCormack, what he said about the inner city people. It was counterintuitive to try and bury climate change because the fires were happening. My fear is that the government will get dragged kicking and screaming into a climate change initiative like they did into the Banking Royal Commission, because doing nothing isn't a solution when you've got this happening. This is the beginning of the fire season, and if they're not on the front foot now, they're going to be told you so, told you so, told you so.
Speaking of tough conversations, Prince Andrew and his car crash interview with the BBC, his PR advisor quit 2 weeks beforehand. He advised him not to do the interview. He went ahead, he did it, and the fallout is enormous.
Okay, so there's a couple of things there. If somebody is accused of an horrendous crime, and this is an horrendous crime, or potentially an horrendous crime, if you stay quiet, you will let everybody else run the agenda. And so there's a real argument for honesty, transparency, and if you're a person of quite deep integrity, coming out and talking about it. The problem, so there's three big issues for me with the Prince Andrew video, and you can see it on YouTube, by the way. If you just Google YouTube Prince Andrew, it'll come up. It's a 59-minute interview. It's an extraordinary interview because it was so bad. The first is it was on Newsnight, which is a really strong, it's about the toughest current affairs program in Britain. And the woman, Emily Maitlis, is a very strong interviewer. She's well known, well respected, good investigative journalist. And so going up against a tough journalist like that, is a good thing, because a tough journalist will get the best out of you, but you've got to be on the money. And for those people who've seen snippets or the whole interview, it was a dreadful interview. Whether he was on Valium or whether he hadn't prepared, he came in and tried to do a fireside chat on something as dramatic as this. The thing with sex abuse or any serious crime that you've been, or misbehaviour that you've been accused of, you've got to display two things. The first is anger. I am so upset I've been accused. This is so unjust. This is so wrong. I knew Epstein briefly. I'm appalled by what he's been accused of. The second thing, if you're dealing with people who've been mistreated, and in this case we're talking about young girls, you've got to say, my heart goes out for the girls. It's absolutely tragic what this man's been accused of. And while I didn't see anything, he says, what Epstein's been accused of is horrendous, and there should be much more action to stop it. And what I'd like to call on the authorities is to initiate some initiatives to make sure this kind of thing is stemmed. Yeah. You know, and in Britain's very sensitive to this because of what's happened in Eastern Europe and the slave trade in Eastern Europe, and the Americans, of course, very sensitive as well. So two huge audiences, and to stuff it up so badly is, you know, it's not hard to get the key messages right. It's not hard to be angry about this, and he had neither. He had no decent messaging, and he had no anger towards either Epstein and remorse for the girls.
Yeah, no sympathy for the victims. He just seemed so completely out of touch with reality.
So I wonder why the PR person, I wonder if the PR person who resigned knows something that was in the background. It'll take Prince Andrew years to get over this. The ballpark for getting over, and he will get over it, the ballpark for getting over this kind of thing, as long as there wasn't serious mistreatment of young girls on his part, is 5 years. He can repair it. And so what we will hear if he doesn't repair it quickly, is in a couple of years, and there's no more damaging information, is a couple of years he'll begin to start being able to talk about it, about why it was a car crash interview. And then there's the recovery period, as if he is a decent person, that he's able to rebuild his reputation.
And before he does his next interview, go and do some media training.
He'll have to do some serious... It's amazing that a royal with the exposure that he's had could stuff it up so badly. It's just mind-boggling. That's why I think everybody's in shock.
Absolutely.
There's you can separate the bad interview from the misdemeanour or the crime. I think people are doing that too. If you see the news, everyone's saying surreal interview, incredulous. It's not so much about what he said or didn't say, but how much he stuffed it up.
Absolutely. Peter Wilkinson, thank you. See you next week.